On today's episode, we will be talking about the chilling story of Ed Kemper, aka the co-ed killer, and also the unfortunate story and cautionary tale of Pedro Ruiz.
I'm Jupe. This is Hempy. Welcome back to ByteSized Talks.
So before we get talking about Ed Kemper, Julian has he brought to the table a story probably you never heard of. I never heard of him. It's probably I think this happened recently of Pedro Ruiz.
It actually wasn't recently. This was back in like 2018, maybe
Well,
2017.
considering I'm bringing up a guy whose crimes happened in like the 70s.
Yeah, so Pedro Ruiz was someone who wanted to become famous on YouTube, wanted to be this big YouTuber and whatnot. So he decided he wanted to create this stunt where he would put his own life in danger. Excuse me. He would put his own life in danger. And so him and his girlfriend, he made his girlfriend agree to helping him out do this stunt. And he was going to get a Desert Eagle 50 caliber gun, shoot it through a series of books that he thought would stop the bullet. And to prove this, he would step behind the books to see if the bullet would be stopped. So Pedro Ruiz, 22, decided to recreate the stunt and film it for YouTube. And he told his girlfriend that she was going to shoot the gun. God knows if she has any shooting experience. And his girlfriend was 19 years old and pregnant with his baby. So they go out, they try to recreate the stunt, they set up the books, and the girlfriend shoots the gun and shoots him. The
Now,
bullet goes through. Go
did
ahead.
it travel through all the books, or did she just like?
Yeah, I think they put like one book, maybe two books, and the bullet went through the books, killed Pedro Ruiz, and left his girlfriend with their child. The girlfriend had involuntary manslaughter charges on her, and she went to jail for 180 days. But I mean, dude, imagine having that event in your hands, having killed your boyfriend, and she didn't want to do it. She was adamant about it. Yeah, I don't want to do it. This is crazy. He's like, no, it'll be fine. And
Like,
she killed him.
I could see if bullets cost like $20,000. Why you couldn't have like practiced this beforehand?
Yeah,
You
dude.
know, but it's
Yeah,
like, yeah, we can't buy an extra book off Amazon and get it delivered and like do a practice run.
yeah,
Like, you know, god damn, like that's unless like this, like they practice it 10 times and it's like, look, it always has an extra inch or two to go, you
yeah,
know? Um, but dude, like
yeah,
that's such a stupid idea. Like
dude.
there's like it's not even like, oh, like the gun misfired and something happened, or you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. He was
uh
trying to become famous, and he was sure that this stunt would make him famous. And I mean, it made him famous in another way. But yeah,
like you hate to talk bad about somebody who like died in a tragic way, but that was really avoidable.
yeah,
And
that was a fucked up stunt. It goes to
and
show that you shouldn't put yourself in harm's way just to be viral.
um
Even if it was, if he had the right amount of books to stop the bullet, you never know.
yeah, I mean, like it's not even like Alec Baldwin. Remember the story where, like he accidentally
Yeah,
killed somebody on a movie set?
yeah. It was actually here
Like,
in New Mexico.
was it?
Yeah,
He thought it was a blank, and apparently it's still. I don't know if he was
yeah.
like super close to her. I don't know the story about it, but like he killed somebody when he thought he had a safe gun,
It was one
not
of
a
the camera women.
yeah. And like a Desert Eagle, for those of you guys don't know, is like the prototypical I need an overly big gun for a movie gun. Like
Yeah,
it's a hand cannon is what it is. It's not a sidearm. That thing is a hand cannon. Like
dude.
to put
Yeah,
yourself
50
like
caliber bullet. Holy shit.
And like, dude, and there's things like there's shows that like will show you like, oh hey, will this brick wall stop? Like, no, like and anything like, God, like that's just so dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
Um. Okay, so now we're gonna take a turn towards not just kind of a weird death, but like the unfortunate deaths of. I think the total body count was he killed. I think 8 people officially. No, no, I think it ended up being 10. He got 10 killers, and he turned himself in at the end of it. But Ed Kemper, big Ed Kemper, drop the scary music now, right? Like,
Dun,
um,
dun, dun.
Ed Kemper. At the time of he was arrested, he measured in at 6'9",
Jesus.
280 pounds. So like he was a big fortified guy,
Yeah.
like um. So he's somebody who like yeah you don't you don't run into somebody who's 6'4", 6'9" is remarkably rare,
Yeah.
you know. Um, but he was tagged with the name of the co-ed killer. Um, Now to understand Ed Kemper, this kind of shows you, that some people are just part of it. Like again, it's a nature. I think it's not a nature versus nurture. It's a nature and nurture sort of thing with some
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, there's
You know,
some people
so,
that are just wrong up in the brain and something just pushes them over the edge.
yeah. So and but what's interesting about Ed Kemper is that he loved to tell his story.
Yeah.
Um, so much so that it's actually, for those of you who are a fan of the show Mindhunters, you're probably like, that name rings a bell. He was the big guy who like gave the two FBI agents their first interview with the serial killer in while he was incarcerated.
Yeah.
And he was one of the people who were like, oh hey, like let's see if we could build a database to figure out who these killers are, what drives them, and like they didn't even have this like before him. The term serial killer didn't exist.
Yeah.
It'd be like, oh, there's this guy who killed like the idea that somebody would systematically go out and like design killing was like not like, yeah, you might try to assassinate somebody if you had a feud, but like to go out and kill a stranger for some internal passion, like that wasn't like fully, it's not fully understood now, but like the idea behind it, like all the stuff would be like watching Criminal Minds and stuff. All that originated from like doing interviews with Ed Kemper, and like they actually show him in or in Mind Hunters. They like tell a bit of a story, but we'll get into more of the details. Um, Now, do you know what one of like the if you're if you hear like a young kid's doing this or that, like what are some things that like immediately are red flags? They're like, hey, this kid might be
I've
potentially
heard
dangerous.
I've heard if they want to hurt animals is probably one of the biggest red flags.
Yeah, so Ed Kemper, he was known to torture and kill cats,
Yeah.
um, which they said like some people will cats, dogs, squirrels, whatever they can literally get their hands on,
Yeah.
Um, but the fact that he chose cats was kind of a way of him taking it out on like a feminine energy.
No shit.
So he was already kind of developing some a bit of uh, like maybe resentment or animosity. I
Aggression.
think that's towards females. He would also disfigure a lot of his sister's dolls. So I think this would like include like ripping their heads off or pulling a leg, or like taking
That's not
something
too
that's
weird. Just
it,
destroying dolls.
I mean, maybe it's not as weird, but like I think like it's one thing like they just happen to break apart, but like I think it's something that like hey, why come every doll this dude gets he rips the head off of when they're not even like, maybe it's like
Yeah.
not even his dolls,
Yeah,
like
if he
okay,
doesn't
like
creepily, then yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, like yeah, it's not an outright like, oh yeah, it's not a death sentence, right? It's not like condemning the poor kid, like
Yeah.
I just maybe doesn't know his own strength, but like if it's like, no, now it's better, see it,
Yeah.
it's better. Like, no, like that's where it's like,
Fucking
hey, dude.
Chucky over there.
Yeah. Um. Now he had a weird relationship with his mom, uh, because I think one he was growing to be this like massive guy, but the mom must have had a weird vibe from him because she used to lock him in their basement
Oh
so that he
shit.
wouldn't try to go and like sleep with his sisters,
What the fuck?
and not just take a nap with the sisters, but like molest them or to
Damn.
protect the girls in the family. They would lock him in the basement at night.
Dude, that's
So
wild.
yeah, so I think again this kind of starts building. You start seeing that maybe there were some things in that household that weren't normal.
Yeah.
You know, maybe there was that some dynamic there where the mom was overly, or or maybe just outright kind of abusive towards him. For maybe she was something happened to her. Again, we don't know her story, but like maybe there's some reason why she didn't trust him, or
Yeah.
he marked some incident in her life that she just didn't like, and
Yeah, maybe she was molested by her brother. Maybe that could have been it.
potentially,
Yeah.
like or
Yeah.
somebody in her family. It's like she just never grew to trust men, you
Yeah.
know. Um, or yeah, or maybe like he was just like a creepy fucking kid.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we don't know. We can only know like, but the stories that he told from his lens, they're able to learn from like people who are around. But um, as a teenager, he was like, I'm going to go live with my dad. My dad's awesome. Like, his parents had split. He went to go live with his dad, and his dad rejected him, which
Oh shit.
isn't necessarily a sign that you're a serial killer. Hoolies.
Whew.
um, but his dad's like, dude, I don't want you here. Like, maybe the dad is living his best single life. I'm like, dude, like
Yeah.
you're a creepy kid. You're gonna put out the wrong vibes around here. But they sent him to go live with his grandparents.
Okay.
Forget exactly where the grandparents live, but I think it was more like out like in the countryside, not like country, but like
Yeah.
outside of the city. Um, they don't say exactly uh, why he did this. But one day he decided to kill grandma with a gun.
Oh shit.
So again, I think that ties into like why do you kill grandma? Like was
Yeah.
it just because like she was some the female in the house that was giving him that that female energy, and he didn't know
Yeah.
how to accept it, or um and so he killed his grandma while his like grandpa went into town, um and he started feeling bad, like, man, I don't want my grandpa to have to live without his wife.
And
Like
with the
that,
kid that killed his wife, dude.
yeah, like I don't want grandpa to go through that, so I'm gonna kill him too.
Oh shit.
So yeah, he killed both his grandparents because he was like, and like again, I don't remember if they said why he killed grandma, but he killed grandpa out of like he's gonna be so like he's gonna miss grandma so much that
That's so stupid.
I'm not gonna let him see the body inside.
Dude,
Okay,
what the fuck? That dude was
yeah.
wild.
So at the eight, so this happened before he was 15.
Oh shit.
So
Yeah.
and I think if I remember right, like he might have been a bigger guy, but he wasn't like 6'9", or like
At the time.
I think he hit the growth spurt in his later teens. But he was diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenic,
Okay.
and he was working at a mental hospital. Here's the thing about Ed Kemper: he could talk to people, not
Hmm.
necessarily women, but like he could get along with other guys. He had a very calm personality. Like he like one of the detectives said, like you knew him to be just a gentle giant. Like, damn, this guy's so
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
He's so caring. He's the way he talks, and they show that in Mindhunters. Like that character is like always like, hey, can I get you a sandwich? They
Yeah.
make a great sandwich. Let me get us some sandwiches. Like okay, like he seems nice, but it's like this guy has done terrible crimes. But getting back to the story, so he's 15 at this mental hospital. He becomes so trusted by the staff that he actually starts working as an assistant.
Okay.
Now they say like in helping the other, I guess, practitioners um, within this mental hospital, that like he learned how to pass the test for him to be released.
Oh shit.
So again, this guy was intelligent. Like he could plan, he
Yeah.
could scheme. He wasn't these guys who were just like shitbox crazy.
Yeah.
Like, like he was somebody who could be composed and sit there and be, okay, like, what do I need to do? What actions do they need to see me do so that I could be released?
Yeah.
Um, so he ends up being released at the age of 20, um, and against the wishes of the hospital, they're like, this dude should not go live with his mom.
Yeah.
Where do you think he was sent?
Obviously.
Where do you think he
With his
goes?
mom.
He goes and lives with mom.
Shit.
Uh, Now they suspect that he kind of felt inadequate around women.
Mhm.
Um, so mind you, that he was already a weird kid, weird guy. Spent his later teens in a mental hospital around a lot of other like sex offenders. So
Mhm.
I think like a perverseness was starting uh, to build with him. And again, and again, the world was different in that time. There was no Uber, you know. There's taxis within a town, but as soon as you wanted to leave like the city limits, like the way people got around, and very common back in those days, was to hitchhike.
Yeah.
So he was actually up in the Northern California area, like the Berkeley area.
Mhm.
Um, and again, this guy's methodical. He started picking up hitchhikers,
Oh, I see.
and just like trying to talk to him, learning like how to disarm him, how to, because again, he's 6'9", like
Yeah.
300 pounds. He's a big guy. Like uh, people are gonna be like, no, just no, I'll wait for maybe waiting for a family to offer a ride, or
Yeah.
another female, or someone who's just like puts out a different energy. So like he did these practice runs with a bunch of hitchhikers, like learning how to disarm them and put them at ease.
Dude, that guy's
Uh,
wild. Holy shit.
yeah. Um, so I believe it's his plan. His first murders were in 1972,
Okay.
where he picked up two women. Okay, and I guess he had this thing, um, to where when they'd get in the car, he'd be like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't think you locked the door. I don't think you pulled it hard enough. Here, let me do it." Again, the guy's 6'9", huge wingspan, normal size car. He was able to reach across, grab the door, open it, and then slam it shut. But what he would do, I don't have a chapstick, but he would like take a chapstick and like palm it in his hand. So when he would put it there, he would drop it. So when they went to go, if they tried to panic to get out of the car and try to squeeze it, that chapstick was hiding there. And
Holy shit.
yeah, so again, he's a thinker, he's a plotter, he's a schemer. And so the girls would sit there like not knowing that, like, again, the view, you wouldn't be able to see the chapstick hiding there, but it would prevent it from squeezing to open the latch so they could get out of the car.
Damn.
Um, so what he ends up doing is he takes one victim, locks her in the trunk, and then the other victim he goes on and begins to stab her.
Damn.
Right. Once he kills the first one, he brings the second one out, kills her as well. Uh, and that's unfortunately not where it ends for these women. He then loaded them back in his car, took them home, and he began to dismantle their bodies,
Oh shit.
cutting up the arms, legs, limbs. He would dump them in various parts of the woods. So again, he was somebody who knew, like, you just don't go throw a whole body out there. You're not going to just
Yeah.
leave it on the side of the road. You
Yeah.
want to kind of, be strategic about what you do. Have it to where you dump it in this river, it's going to end up, flushing out of the ocean over here. Maybe people blame it on somebody who fell at the beach or something, and
Yeah.
make it harder for them to identify the bodies and such. Um, Interesting enough, also about him, he used to hang out at a cop bar.
Oh shit.
And the thing is, the cops, like, we loved Big Ed. Big Ed was like a
They would never
very friendly,
suspect him.
yeah, like, and they'd be
Yeah.
like, and again, like, they there's something that they talk about in like the show Criminal Minds, like, somebody who's a killer tends to like to stay around the investigation. They'll find a way to interject themselves. So if there's a search party, so
Yeah.
that's something like that happens, like when the FBI is looking for a serial killer and they think the body might be in the woods somewhere. They're like, oh, hey, we're gonna do a grid search, and we need as many volunteers as we can to do the grid. It's not so much hoping that they discover something, like that's like half of the focus, but the FBI is also profiling everybody that comes to volunteer.
Oh shit.
because like the killer, there's a good chance the killer's one of our volunteers. You
It's
know?
smart.
Yeah, so like, they're trying to see if somebody's like overly interested, or maybe somebody knows more a detailed information they tried hiding.
Yeah.
Um, so by him being in this cop bar, he would begin to learn about, oh hey, what happened? Something crazy, right? Like didn't some body parts start floating up? Like yeah, apparently there's some guy out there that like so he was always there and around. Um, and again, he went on with his killings. His next victim bound, gagged her, suffocated this one. Um, and then again, his whole thing of what he would do with the women, because he didn't just uh he viewed women as like objects, like they weren't other people, they were objects to him, and like
Yeah.
maybe objects of oppression or torture in the sake in the vision of his mom. Um, but this woman, he takes her home, um, and this gets a little graphic. He has intercourse with the dead woman,
Oh
right?
fuck.
So yeah, so he's into that, and then he takes it a step further, decapitates her, has sex with the decapitated body.
Oh fuck.
So again, he takes it to a whole nother extreme of like, again, this isn't so the thing wasn't about this him like wanting, just trying to rape women. It was like he turned this thing into another thing, and then he wanted to do something to that thing.
Yeah.
Like that's the way his mind kind of operated, and in total he ended up killing 6 women, 6 young girls, co-eds, college girls who were like living in the Berkeley area. Um, the last victim, he actually kind of developed like a weird connection to.
Yeah.
So like he didn't get rid of her head. What he did is he took her head, buried it in his yard, in the manner to where the head was facing him or
What
facing
the
his
fuck?
window, so he could look
Yeah.
out and just like look at that little patch and like know she's staring at him.
Dude, that's wild.
Yeah, and like he would do other things. So like not only when he'd take off the head, dude, like just discard it, like he would have intercourse with the head.
That at that point he's just trying to make it a
It's
point that they're just objects.
yeah, it's pure deviancy,
Yeah.
right? Um, and again, this guy was a thinker. He was a planner, right?
Mhm.
He could scheme. Um, the way in which they caught him has actually, or like triggered the events that led to him being caught. Um, he was issued a handgun, or he was not issued, but we went and bought a handgun. And during the background search, somebody saw that like, okay, his background was clean, but there was something expunged from it. And upon looking at that, it was the murder of his grandparents.
Yeah.
So like, the fact that we sold a murderer a handgun
Shit.
is something that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need to see, like, somebody has to go out there and take the gun away from Big Ed. Again, the cops knew Big Ed, like, dude, I'm not gonna go try to take a gun from a guy who's like 7 feet tall, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So they said like the cops like okay, I guess I'll do it. Um, and when they went to go talk to him about his gun, he interpreted it as like, man, these cops are fucking with me. They think I'm the killer, but they're trying to rattle me with this gun charge.
Yeah.
They're just trying to see what else they could find. So like they just went there to get a gun. They had no idea he was the co-ed killer. But when the cops came to talk to him, he's like, "This is what the fuck? Like they've been watching me. They have to know it's me." He panicked. He thought his mom would find out. So that the next day after they confronted him at his car, um, at 4 o'clock in the morning, he kills his mom with a hammer.
Fuck.
So they say like this is probably the woman he's been wanting to kill all along.
His entire life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like all the grandparents, the 6 women were all probably a practice run. Really, the person he's been wanting to kill and mutilate and sodomize this whole time has been his mom. So he
Shit.
kills her with the hammer, cuts off her head, has sex with the mom, has sex with her head separately from each other.
Damn, we're gonna need a
Uh,
disclaimer on this fucking video.
yeah.
Holy shit.
um, they said like he put the head up on a mantle, and would just like yell her like, "You ain't talking now, are you? Huh?
No, fuck.
You're not being so smart. You're not putting me down now." So yeah, um, and he actually took her vocal cords out to try to like. Now you're really nuts. You'll never talk again because you can't because you don't have vocal cords.
After he killed her?
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah,
All
like
right.
after she's dead, after he's had sex with like the head and the body, like that was one of the things he like further mutilated the remains with.
Yeah.
Um, now I guess the mom must have had a pretty good friend. He's like, shit, she's gonna be coming over soon just to hang out with my mom. Gonna have to kill her too. Like,
Oh
um,
my god.
so went kills the mom, or kills the mom's friend, or actually invited her over. Like, oh hey, my mom wants you to come over. Why don't you come over? Okay. A friend gets there, kills the friend, and then he flees. He's like, okay, I did the last thing I had to do. I guess he was going to try to be, a criminal out on the run. Um, Again, the cops didn't know who the hell he was. They just thought it was some guy who had a gun. He drives around for like 3 days throughout California, and then like realized like he doesn't want to be on the run for the rest of his life. So he turns himself in. The cops are like, what? Fuck. Okay. Like,
Mm.
they arrest him. They go to his apartment, and it's not like it was a murder scene. Like, man, everything looks orderly. It looks like somebody just went on like a weekend trip. Like,
Yeah.
you would never suspect something was there, not until like they flipped over the mattress and there's just a huge blood puddle. I'm like, oh, okay,
Oh
yeah,
shit.
this definitely where the murder happened. Um, and he even left a note that read, "Sorry guys for the mess. Really had no time." And one of the detectives like, "This is the first time a killer's ever written us a note like sorry about the mess." Um, Continues. Uh, so he had buried, or not buried, but he had put in the bodies in the closet. And again, this was a guy he loved to talk about his crimes. Eventually went to court in 1973, and but the investigators were able to get like 100 hours of interrogation on him. So why'd you do
Damn.
this? Can you tell us like how did you go about picking up hitchhikers? What was your intention? And he told them everything. And none of the cops ever felt in danger. They felt like, like, hey, like we know this guy has killed 10 people. But again, he just kind of seems like a gentle giant. Um, it wasn't until they asked a female grad student at the local college to give him a personality test. So she said, like, yeah, I was just there asking him questions, and he was very calm. And then all of a sudden, he like exploded on her. Like, what do you mean? Like, got it like in her face, and like
Yeah.
the bailiffs had to come in and like settle him down. Um, but it was like weird that like all these other investigators were able to ask him these same questions or similar questions or even more demanding, revealing, challenging questions. But
But
she was the only. They
they
were all
were all
male.
men. Yeah.
So
That
again,
makes sense.
something about women in his psychology that like there is just always something, some animosity, some distrust,
Yeah.
anger, frustration with. Um, Ultimately, he got 8 counts of first degree murder, but I think because like he was so forthcoming and he turned himself in, he didn't get the death penalty. Um, he was given life in prison. Um, and when they asked him like why'd you do it, he said his quote was, uh, "It was the way I could control them."
Oh shit.
Yeah. Um, so again, like his interviews with the FBI, his willingness to talk about his crimes helped him like develop um, uh, serial killers. He was one of like 36 serial killers that the FBI interviewed to try to develop what is a serial killer, what's the difference. Like, I'm gonna give you 3 types of killers. Let's see if you know the difference: serial, mass, and spree.
Serial is someone who has a method. Mass is someone who just kills a bunch of people. Spree, I'm guessing it's someone who kills at random.
So, kind of serial killer is someone who kills at least 3 people.
Mm.
There's a pattern. every full moon, every week.
There's an
Like,
MO.
yeah, there's a bit of a rhythm to it.
Yeah.
Mass killer, somebody who kills 4 people in one event. So it's possible to be a serial killer who's also a mass killer.
Okay.
Every time this guy goes out, he tries to kill 5 people, I guess technically.
Mm-hmm.
And then a spree killer is someone who maybe that's more like maybe the person who snaps, and like they go and they kill somebody, then they just go on this. They have no cooling off period.
Rampage.
Because normally people they say when they're serial killers, not normal people. People don't kill people normally, but the serial killers, like, they'll kill. It hits a need, the guy's back down, and then when they can't get enough from reliving it again, they have to go out and redo the crime again. So it's kind of just a pattern.
Yeah.
Of highs and lows. But spree killers, they just try to stay at that high level of interaction. So they kind of keep killing
Yeah.
to keep that what they get out of it. So yeah, this is the chilling story of Ed Kemper. Again, if you watch Mindhunters, they talk about interviewing him. He goes into some of these details, and that's one of my favorite shows ever. I really wish they'd come back for a 3rd season. But yeah, Ed Kemper, the co-ed killer, killed in total 10 people. 6 of them were co-eds. Killed his paternal grandparents and his own mom. So,
and his mom's friend, right?
And the mom's friend.
So
and
is it 11?
No. 6 co-eds, grandparents, and mom and friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah. 10 people in total. Chilling story. Don't hitchhike.
And guys, this will probably be one of the last times that we do true crimes. We'll probably be doing it on and off here and there, but we'll be changing it up a little bit come November. Let us know what you guys think about the true crime tales. If you guys like it, we'll keep going with it. If not, we'll just sprinkle it here and there.
And maybe
like and subscribe.
And maybe we even get into like stuff like maybe not necessarily murder, but like bank robberies or heist and stuff. I think there can be some things to talk about there.
Conspiracy theories, stuff like that. Yeah. Let us know, guys, what you think, and like and subscribe.
I heard a big conspiracy theory is that that like and subscribe button aren't working. That YouTube's trying to keep us down.
But the man will not keep me down. All right, everybody. You guys take care and have a good weekend.